What's good, people? Hope you're well. Welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back to the channel. I want to say a huge big up to everybody watching and a huge big up to all of you listening on Catch Up. It's an absolute pleasure to be joined today by Brotherhood Sport. I've got Menace and Blaze with me. What you saying, boys?
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here,
Pleasure
man.
to
Great
be here.
time. Great time to
Very
be talking
welcome.
about Arsenal right now.
Man, it can't get any better, if I'm honest with you, man. Listen, it's been a long time coming since we have had some form of excitement around the place, and I know the last few years have been hard. What with COVID, what we're trying to look at in terms of a title push, but right now things are finally looking up, and I just wanted to first of all get your thoughts on what's going on. But before I do that, get you guys to big up your channel and what you've been up to over there, man. So, Menace, talk to me about what you're doing on YouTube at the moment.
Yes. Well, we are musicians first and foremost, and then obviously we branched out into doing sport. We've always played football all our lives. Obviously, Arsenal fans all our lives. Started playing football, started recording it. We do Sunday league games on YouTube, and the best way to describe it is SE Dons. We actually played them, so if you want to see that, go check us out. Brotherhood Sport, but it's Brotherhood with a V instead of a O. Go check that.
Nice one, man. And Blaze and I know met for a kind of mutual friend. So I thought, let's get you on the channel. Let's support what you're doing. And make sure you go click on it. In the title, people, literally just click on the title. Go and hit a subscribe. I think they're on the way to 20K, these boys, and they're doing some mad stuff. So if you like sport, if you like football, if you like Arsenal, head over there, man, and support the man then. Listen, let's talk Arsenal. Blaze, I want to come to you, man, because I must say, it's been a pleasure of late watching Arsenal. But there was a little bit of a blip over the last couple, man. The PSV games, home and away, weren't too convincing. Obviously, we lost Leeds and Southampton. It weren't looking great. We were scraping 3 points, and some controversy and drama with what has been VAR for most of the last 2 or 3 seasons. But yesterday, we got ourselves back onto winning ways, and it was really convincing. Annihilated Nottingham Forest in the second half, and it looked to me as if it was the kind of old Arsenal of the first 5 games of the season where we were winning comfortably and playing some really good football, man. So do you think this time at Arsenal are back at the moment? Do you think it's sustainable leading towards this World Cup at the moment?
I think it is. I think it is for the next few games. Like I said, I think our starting 11 is, say, a 12 really with Tini as well. Is as strong as it can get. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I'd put us against anyone in the league with that starting 11. But like I said, when you start getting into the squad, into the depth, I think a shoe, like I said, against PSV, it can drop down dramatically. Like a lot of the players, I don't know if it's enough. Like I said, if we get a couple of injuries, the players that are playing at the moment, outstanding. But if we get a couple of injuries, I just don't know where it's going to go. Do you know what I mean? I think the levels can fall so dramatically. Do you know what I mean? It's all about margins. Do you know what I mean? And like one player out of place can literally shift the whole momentum of the team. I was happy with Reece Nelson that he came on and scored. So happy for him. Do you know what I mean? I think he needed that. It's been a long time coming. Must have boosted his confidence massively. Obviously, he always speaks about Saka and how happy he is for him. But to see someone come through when you were the one that was supposed to come through must damage your confidence a bit. You know what I mean? He came through as Sancho. He's going for 70 mil and whatever, even though it hasn't worked out perfectly for him. I was super happy to see him come through. But I just don't know. I'm super confident in the D11. I'm super confident. Like I said, it's about margins. So football's going to go each way. You know what I mean? I don't think people are going to have an invincible season, not even a Man City. But do you know what I mean? When it gets to the squad. Pardon?
There's only 1 gold trophy.
There's only 1 gold trophy at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that's going to happen again. I think too many teams are good in the league and anything can happen. I think there's too many games. I don't think that will happen again, thankfully. But yeah, I just like I said, starting 11 wise, yeah, I'm happy. But when we get into the depth of it, just a couple of injuries, I think, boy, it's going to be serious trouble for us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I'm with you 100%. And I want to come into some of the individual performances in a bit, Menace, but I want to come into what Blaze is talking about in relationship. Craig said here, our starting 11's calm. The backups aren't on the same level. I agree with that. And I think when we make 2 or 3 changes, we go from playing beautiful football into turning into Wigan Athletic. Do you know what I mean? It really does look that bad at times. And crazy. I think if we was to get 3 or 4 more heads into this side, on this squad, should I say, we'll have a bit of a chance of maybe pushing close to Man City. But I just have it in the back of my mind, these concerns that a couple of injuries, we've already seen a kick to Saka at the weekend, and now everybody's worried. Like this is serious to do something in January now, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. Like Jay said, our season relies on it. I think I'm not gonna lie. Like, we've been in positions like this before and not made the right signings we need in January. But this is the most important time in God knows how long. Do you know what I mean? Like, we really need to take advantage, especially because, well, not that it makes that much difference, but obviously Haaland got injured. That's hope to us as well. Do you know what I mean? As bad as that is. But yeah, we can't, unless our 11 stays fit or we strengthen, then I don't know. I think City could be too strong for us. I have to be honest.
Yeah, man. Listen, Man City. I'll got to be honest, though, boys. When the season, before a ball was kicked, I didn't expect us to get close to Man City. I didn't. I thought that the last few seasons that I'd seen enough evidence that we still had a lot of work to do. And I felt that although we had a wicked transfer window, I didn't expect the drop off and I didn't expect how consistent we'd be in these first 12 games. So big up to what Arteta's done and big up to the players. But you're right. It gets to a stage where if Haaland gets injured, they don't look like, oh my God, how are Man City going to win a game? Whereas I think without Saka or Jesus, Arsenal might look like that. So I think that's the difference. And I think although we do have alternatives, the drop off from Partey to Lokonga or Jesus to Eddie, it's just massive, Blaze. And massive. That worries me, bro.
Massive. Literally that. Like I said, like the drop off between, there is no drop off between their players. Their players is like a variation of what you want. Do you know what I mean? You're taking off Gundogan and do you know what I mean? Putting on Silva or what? Do you know what I mean? You're taking off Mahrez and putting on Grealish. It's like, it's not a drop in quality. It's literally, what do you prefer? What kind of player do you want? Do you know what I mean? Whereas ours, it literally is a drop in quality. Do you know what I mean? They're not poor players. They're good, but the other guys are close to world class. So it's like, it's going to be hard to find players like that, but that is what you need to compete. Like, obviously, there's a reason Man City are Man City, and the only reason that haven't won, was it like 6 in a row or whatever, is because Liverpool have just been ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? For a few seasons now, they've pushed them all the way and they've been almost on the same level, but as a different kind of team. But for us to, like I said, we're competing at the moment, but like I said, it's very early. Like I said, it's November, start of November. Unless we strengthen and we get some serious players in January, I can't see us winning the league, to be fair. But at the same time, that was never the aim of the game, was it? Like you said, when we came into the season, I was not thinking we're going to challenge at all like that. Like, we were like, if we get top 4, it's a great season and we can build on that. Do you know what I'm saying? I like our team because it's just so young and it just seems like everyone's getting better and they're a likable team. It seems like they like playing for Arsenal. I just think the whole vibe's changed around Arsenal and it's just been so bitter for years. Like you said, I'm used to seeing, I mean, I'm from the Invincible times. I watched the Invincibles, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm used to that time and it's just been so just bitter for years. Like I said, just not expecting anything because it was just, you'd have to be crazy to expect something of the teams that we had. Do you know what I mean? Even when we were top, even the Leicester season, that was the best time that we've had in, I don't know, last 10 years to even win the league. But I just never had confidence. I always thought at some point we were going to drop off. Whereas I just have so much more confidence in this team. I think if we had, like I said, we bolstered, I think we could become that team again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100. Listen, I always want to go for titles. That's what I grew up on. Do you know what I mean? I'm like you, Blaze. I was Invincibles. I was there at Highbury. I was literally 16, 17 years old thinking like, this is the best team I've seen in a long time. And if you would have said to me 18 years later, we wouldn't have had another Premier League win, I would have gone, you're mad. Like, this team is so good. And, I think Liverpool probably said that in 1990. If you would have said to them 30 years, it's going to be until you win again, they would have gone, you're mad. So I think when you look at it, it's a surprise to us, but it shouldn't be a kind of impossible at the moment in the position that we're at. I think what we need to be is obviously realistic, but I want to come to you on this 1 minute because when do we, for you this season, become title challengers? Do we have to get to May? Does it mean February, March time? Like, when does it look like we can say, right, Arsenal are title challengers right now?
Do you know what? I wouldn't say until March. Probably March, Like, before, I'd still be denying it. I know some people will be like, even in February or whatever, nah, we can do it. For me, March, I'm probably like halfway through. Like, City it's nothing to do with how good we are, because we could be better than everyone else. City are just ridiculous. Like, they're
you know what it is?
Team ridiculous, and they're used to it. Do you know what I mean? The pressure's not the same.
Yeah. Do you know what it is as well? Like I said, I've seen Arsenal. I've been watching Arsenal for so many years. Everyone knows about the February collapse.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
I've seen literally countless February collapse. Normally, it used to be, like I said, when we get knocked out of the Champions League, right? Because it's around my birthday. My birthday is the end of February. And we've just had so many heartbreaks around that time where we just get knocked out and stuff around that. And normally we're doing well around that time and we just drop off our form. So, yeah, I think Europe's going to play a part, like I said, because we haven't got a good enough second team. So you couldn't play a completely different 11.
That's true.
So that's going to take us toll. Do you know what I mean? Because he realizes, like I said, the drop down is too far to play a completely different 11 anyway. I don't think we've even got a completely 11. We're not Man City. Most teams haven't. So when we're playing these players that we need in a Premiership, I think it's going to take us toll. Like,
I'm not even going to lie yet. I would slightly just play the weakest team possible in that competition. Like, I don't care about winning it massively. Obviously, I know that would give us Champions League, but I feel like we're doing so well in the league. Focus on the league, and we're going to get Champions League anyway. And the cup, anything can happen in the cup. If we put all our eggs in that basket and we get knocked out, and then, do you know what I mean? We played the players we did, and then our league form's dead because of it, and we end up missing out both ways because you don't win it and then don't make top 4. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to make sure that we certainly got top 4, like, more than anything. Obviously, we want to win a trophy, of course, but I'm just saying.
I was going to say that. Like,
Do you know
I
what
was
I'm
going to say that. Like, this team for me deserves to win silverware the way it's playing at the moment. And if that's not going to be the Premier League, like we're saying, it is going to be Man City who wins that. Then what is the next thing to us to win? Is it going to be another domestic cup, or is it going to be that Europa League? I would like to just win the Europa League. And I know what you're saying. It provides us Champions League the same as it would if you come second, third, or fourth. What I don't have if I come second, third, or fourth is that at the end of the season. And that's why I'd rather have a trophy at the end of the season. Do you know what I'm saying?
You know what? I would rather have it. I just think it's harder because it's a cup. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll definitely, if you ask me, would I rather have top 4 or win a trophy? You're crazy if you say top 4. I want to win a trophy, or when that's what it's about. Do you know what I mean? And the fun days out, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I want it, but I'm just saying, if we put all our eggs in that basket, you know how cups are. You just get knocked out. You know what I mean? The best team don't always win a cup, but the top 4 teams in England finish top 4, and I believe that we can do that, like, without any luck. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I hear that.
Of course, I want to win a cup. If we can have it both, then all day I'll be happy.
Yeah, listen, if we get a trophy and top 4, then that's great.
Yeah, we can do both.
Overachieved.
Yeah, 100, man, 100. Let's talk about some of the players at the moment that are impressing, because obviously we've seen over the last couple of years the likes of Saka's and Martinelli's and Smith Rowe's and this young side. But for me, so far this season, in terms of consistency, the one player that I would look at is not a youngster. I think Granit Xhaka. And trust me, boys, I've had some serious concerns over this guy over the last 7 years.
Hey, listen,
he's been so good.
Don't check the Twitter history. Yeah, trust me. Because, boy, I've been on ultimate smoke for Granit.
Hey,
you know
that's
what?
me, yeah.
I try to at the time, you deserved it. And I hope that Spurs you want to be the player that you are now, brother.
It's true. You weren't. People always say, people say, they like, obviously our friends get onto you for like getting onto him, and I'm like, bro, like, he deserved it, then, innit? Like, obviously he didn't deserve abuse, but you know what I mean? Like, he deserved the criticism.
Obviously, I'm not saying abuse players, but yeah, literally the criticisms were justified. Like, honestly, why would I criticize him if not? He's a player for my team. He was captain. I want him to do well. I have no reason to have any grudge against him.
Similar to Ramsey. Remember how bad Ramsey was, and then he turned around.
Ramsey was so bad, then he just turned into the greatest. Just had that season where everything was gold, and it just changed up. But yeah, Granit Xhaka, what a turnaround. Honestly, to be fair, like I said with Xhaka, it was a weird one because you always saw what he had for Switzerland. Yep. You always saw what he could actually do, and it was just like, why is this not transitioning to when he plays?
I think Arteta deserves a lot of credit for that, though, Blaze, in terms of putting a different position to him, like further up the field now.
Literally that. I think when he was sitting, like I said, as a DM, his position was just wrong. He was always flat-footed, facing people square on. It was a guaranteed yellow card from the moment he came. I played him left back as well, so that's not his fault. But yeah, his positioning now, like I said, he's been our best player. If I'm honest, like I said, it's ridiculous. He's a goal for it as well.
In terms of consistency, I don't think there's been anybody on that level. But the one player I would say that is probably alongside that is Ben White. Now, when I saw Ben White, I thought he looks all right. Looks like a good player. 50 million might look like quite a lot, but English tax and all that. Last season, I thought he made a few errors, but at the same time, I thought he played very well. When I was told he was going to be right back to cover for Tomiyasu, I was like, I don't see that as long term, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. And the first few games, I thought, do you know what, he's doing all right. And then another few games went past, I thought he's doing actually really well. And now I'm not thinking that we should be changing it because this guy looks so good at the moment and flawless at the weekend yet again, right? I know that we was not in a Forest and 5-0, yeah, but clean sheet, first one we've kept at the Emirates, believe it or not. Away from home, he's been right back. He's been sensational, mate. So good. So I wanted to come to you on that one, Menace, because I feel like personally, he gets a lot of criticism because of the money, but this season he's been wicked, Mo.
Yeah, him in the England squad, mate. You crazy? Like, are you crazy? The way people, like you said, he's getting a lot of criticism, and I don't think people are watching. I think people were just they heard that the price tag and they've just ran with their agenda. But like, if you've actually been watching us, he's been sick. I don't understand. Like, even some of our friends have said, like, try to criticize him. Like, have you been watching him? Like, trust me, get him in the squad. He deserves it. Like, he's been, like you said, probably the second to Xhaka in terms of consistency. And like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Do you know what I mean? I know Tomiyasu, it was working well before he got injured, but when you get injured, someone takes your place. If it's going well, just keep going. I don't think we should switch it up.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. And, you know, I thought Tomiyasu was exceptional last season. I know that he only played like 20-odd games. But when he did, I thought, who is this guy? Like, I didn't know much about him from Bologna. And then when he came in, I thought, this guy is really consistently good. Aerial ability, consistently good, disciplined defender, really comfortable on the ball. And when Ben White come in, I thought that it was just for a couple of games until Tomiyasu come in, and then we'd switch it back round. But because Saliba and Gabriel formed that partnership, it's actually been the left-back situation, Blaze, that has been a strange one. Like Tierney, Zinchenko, we've seen now Tomiyasu. What's your thoughts on that, man?
This is what I was about to say. What do you think about that? Like, it's one of them situations, isn't it? Like, if it's not broke, like I said, don't try to fix it. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, Zinchenko was like a revelation when he came in at the start. And Tierney's one of my favourite players for Arsenal, do you know what I mean, over the last few years. So it's a hard one. Like I said, and Tomiyasu can do both sides, do you know what I mean? So it's a good problem to have. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I don't know on that one. I don't even know. If they're all fit.
I'm going to say, who would you start?
Who would I start? I don't even know. I can't.
Depends on the game. Depends on the game, probably.
Yeah, it probably depends on the game. Like I said, you probably go, if you're going to dominate a bit more, you'd probably put Zinchenko in. Do you know what I mean? Because he's more attacking. Tierney's it's kind of a mix, isn't it? I think Zinchenko is a bit more attacking. Tomiyasu's like more solid defensively and more focused on that, and Tierney's kind of in between.
Yeah, both. Because he does get forward as well. He gets to the byline.
Exactly, he does both, doesn't it? But yeah, I don't even know. I don't know. I couldn't say over day. Like I said, like,
do you know what?
I think it is. Like,
I feel like you summed it up really well, and the reason that I would go with Kieran Tierney is because of what you've said. He can do it all. Now, I love Kieran Tierney. He's my favourite player. I love him. I love everything about him off the field and on it. I think he epitomises everything I want to see in a player wearing an Arsenal shirt. I think he should have been our captain. I think he's a leader. He's got winning mentality, obviously, over in Celtic. And I think what you look at is someone who can do a little bit of everything. Where he doesn't fit in is this inverted left-back situation that Tomiyasu and Zinchenko do better. I think if you're looking at somebody who's better on the ball, Zinchenko's your guy. If you're looking at somebody who's a disciplined defender, who ain't going to go forward past the halfway line, Tomiyasu's your guy. And to be fair, it's good to have because we want competition for places. We want versatility. We want alternatives. What I don't want to see is Kieran Tierney shipped out and given third choice left back now, and I think that would upset him. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, and I think it's going to be hard for Arteta to utilise all three of them in a season. But at the moment, Zinchenko's the one that's out. Tomiyasu's got the Premier League games, and Tierney's got the Europa League games. And I think Tierney's got the right attitude to try and fight back for his place. And at the moment, you're looking at Ben White thinking, mate, you're the one who's actually keeping Kieran Tierney out because Tomiyasu's had to come over to left back because he can't get in at right back. So it's actually quite a good thing at the back now, what Arteta's got. And fair play to him because he's the guy who's brought these players in. I know Kieran Tierney was an Emery signing, but everyone else has come in because of him, really. So for me, it's a good thing to happen. I don't want to see Kieran Tierney get unsettled and look for a move. So I'm hoping that ain't the case. But do you think maybe, like, I'll come to you on this, Blaze. Do you think maybe Kieran Tierney's injury record is the reason Arteta's not playing him all the games and he's mixing it up a bit still?
I think it's that. Definitely. I think if he could rely on him injury-wise and he was solid, he had a good injury record, he'd probably throw him back in and say, yeah, you're my first choice. But to do that, imagine he does that, unsettles it, he gets injured after 2 games, it kind of rattles the whole squad. It's like, is it worth it when it's going well anyway? I think that's got a big role to play. It's a bad one. It's like with Zinchenko, do you think he's good enough to play in the middle for us? Do you think like you can transition him there as well and utilize him in that position as well?
Do you know what's mad? Like, I actually thought he was coming in to play that role because I know that he would cover at left back. I thought Tierney was going to play left back, and it was like, you're going to play left back. If you get injured, Zinchenko comes back in there. Zinchenko is going to upgrade Xhaka. The reason I don't think that's happened is because Xhaka's playing so well, man. And we haven't needed Zinchenko to come in. So I think he's surprised everybody with how good he's been consistently, and we've touched on Granit Xhaka. Zinchenko apparently can play there for Ukraine comfortably, although I haven't really seen it. We do see him playing there in the kind of inverted role when he plays in at left back for a bit. But I think you're right. And this is the good thing. Although we don't have that amazing strength in depth, in certain positions, we actually do look all right. For me, it's the forward lines and the defensive midfield and the centre midfield option if Xhaka was to go out. I think at left centre back, when Holding comes in, it's not great. He's all right, but it's not great. So there's certain players there. But when we talk about what we're talking about at fullback, I think we're quite comfortable there in terms of strength in depth, man. So I think it's going to be an interesting one. Let's talk a little bit about Jesus, Saliba, because we touched on Zinchenko. They both come in. They've both been really good in games. They've both definitely taken us to the next level, whatever that means. I'll come to you first, Menace. Like, how impressed have you been with both of these players consistently so far, 12 games in, man?
I love it. I'm not going to lie. I believe in Jesus. I believe in Jesus. I know he's had a little drought goals, but still assisting same way. He's that kind of player. He's obviously not just he's not Haaland where he's going to have 5 touches and score. You know what I mean? But he assisted 3 yesterday, didn't he? I think. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, he offers more than just goals, and that's a proper Arsenal kind of player as well. And I think he'll start scoring again anyway. I'm not worried about that. Saliba, like a new signing, superb. It's a weird one as well, yeah, because I think I've asked a few people this, like, do you think we should have had him sooner? Or do you think the loans helped him? And, do you know what I mean? He's only this level because of the loans, you know what I mean? But to say that...
It's a really good question, man, because I always ask this one. You beat me to it because I was going to ask you both this, right? And do you know what I think? And this is my honest answer. I think he did well with the loan at St. Etienne. When he first went there, we signed him from St. Etienne and he stayed there. And I was happy, to be fair, that if things weren't quite right for him to come back that season, then he goes to Nice. Where I was frustrated was he went on loan again, the Marseille, and he literally was wicked. Like, they were main man of the season. And we, in my opinion, had a better chance of getting top 4 with a Saliba than a Rob Holding. So that, for me, was why I was frustrated. But I don't care about that now, because I'm looking at what I'm seeing right now. I'm thinking, wow, this kid, I've never seen someone, right, at 21 years old this good, since maybe Rio Ferdinand, like back in, well, God knows how long ago that was now. This guy is so good, man. It is unreal.
He looks like a senior. He looks like he looks so comfortable against anyone. Like, he looks comfortable. I think he could play anyone in the world, and he'll feel comfortable.
Just looks so good on the ball, doesn't he? Like I said, just so composed. Like, he just looks like the ball's never getting away from him. Like, even when he's under pressure, it's madness. Some of the footwork and stuff. He's thinking, what is going on? Like I said,
remember that one time? Was it him? I swear it was. Remember against Liverpool? I think they were going to break. I swear, was it Liverpool? Remember when he made a tackle? I think it was him. He made a tackle. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Saliba. Yeah.
Yeah, and he dispossessed him, and you were like, if that was I don't know who said it was, but if it was someone else.
Yeah, someone like Mario or something like that.
Yeah, it might have been that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if
it was right at the start of the game when we scored, didn't it? When we scored,
you know, yeah, and then we counted and scored. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, literally, it was right at the start when the ball went over, and I've just seen it so many times. Like I said, so remember 20 minutes 3-0 down and wherever. Do you know what I mean? I've just seen it so many times. The way our defense used to just break apart. Mustafi days, like.
Oh, don't remind me, man. It wasn't just him, man. Like
Mustafi said, trust me.
Do you know what's mad though, right? It's not even just Mustafi. Like, I can go back to the hybrid days with Sigans and Stepanovs and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? But the Emirates era has been so poor with our defense, man. Like, I can think of about 3 or 4 that have been decent. The rest of them have just been average or poor. So it's great to finally have some centre halves that can defend, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, do you know what it is? Shall I tell you what? All through my years as an Arsenal fan, like you said, like even in the great times, like you had Siga, we always had players that would just seemed so out of place for the levels of everyone else. Do you know what I mean? Like, we had Benta for all them years. You had players that just just seemed I always had players I just didn't like. I just thought, oh my god, like this team here might be the team that I like the most. Where I just feel like I like every player, even the people. Like I said, it's a big drop from Partey to Lokonga. Still like them as players. Do you know what I mean? Still think they're. Do you know what I mean? I rate them all. Do you know what I mean? There's not one player that said, "No, you're not good enough for Arsenal."
Yeah,
kind of.
All have
like,
potential.
Yeah.
You're right, man. Look, when they will line up in the tunnel now, you don't go, oh, Bellerin, oh, Mustafi. Oh, do you know what I mean? There's enough now that you go, do you know what? I like this team. Even Xhaka
Yeah.
we've mentioned. Do you know what I mean? So
Like I said,
I look at it and that fills me with confidence, man. But Blaze, I want to stick with you, man, because last season, Lacazette and Aubameyang and Pepe, to be fair, it weren't working. They weren't cutting a mustard for whatever reason. Arteta didn't rate them. Arteta didn't want them. And it's shown this season. But Gabriel Jesus has basically morphed into what Lacazette does, what Aubameyang does, what Pepe does, and plus more. He's been unbelievable. And I know the goal hasn't been now in 6 games, but I can't fault his effort, his intensity, his work rate, his link-up play, his assists. He's wicked, man.
It's one of these things. It's like I hate stat merchants. It's so mad. It's like if you should be able to see it blatantly now. Like I said, the perfect example is Ronaldo. Ronaldo scored 25 goals last year. Yeah, so if you want to look at things, he should be starting because that's what goals win games. And do you know what I mean? Like that's the most important thing in the game. We realize football is more complicated than that now. Man United are a worse team with Ronaldo in, even with that 25 goal record, whatever, because he won't add to the build-up play enough. He won't give enough to the team that Man U will lose 3-1, but Ronaldo will get one on his record. Do you know what I mean? And this is the difference to Jesus. I don't need him to score. I need him to facilitate the team scoring. It doesn't even matter if he scores. He can go 10 games without a goal. If Saka scores 10 goals and Martinelli scores the rest, it doesn't matter. Like the job of the striker is to score, but it's to facilitate goals at the same time. If you don't score, but you're making goals and you're the pass before the assist, does not mean anything to me. Like I said, as long as the team's winning, it only matters if you're not doing that if the team's losing. Simple as that. Other than that, if you're playing well, it doesn't rest on your shoulders for me. Like it doesn't mean a thing.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I've seen Lacazette in this team look like he don't care, down tools, give up, not really go try and stuff. I've also seen Lacazette try really hard. By the way, I'm not saying he was a lazy player by any means, but when I see Jesus trying, when I see him giving 110%, in fact, he's trying too hard at the moment. Some would say to score a goal. I'm calm with that because I know that it will come, and I know that the goals will definitely come with this guy. And I've been so impressed with his all-round play, and I think that he's definitely taken us to a new level. And individually, Saka and Martinelli look so different. You know, he's come out in a press conference and said that they're both machines, and I think that actually that's a lot to do with him, particularly Martinelli. I think the link-up play and the fact that Martinelli has now gone from a good player to what looks like a great player, scoring goals in most games. I think in 12, he's got 4 or 5 goals now. That's a really good return for what he had last season and the season before that. I think he's been great menace. And I look at that front three now, and I would say if you compare it to some of the others in the league, it's right up there now, man.
Right up there. I'm not gonna lie. There's not many people that I would swap in. You know what I mean? There's not many. Probably the main. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you're talking form as well, boy, like it's going to be hard for you to get in there, innit? Like Haaland's the only one that walks in. Do you know what I mean? But then that might mess up the play. You don't know. Do you know what I mean? We're not City, so it might mess up the. Do you know what I mean? They ain't broke. They're fixing the system's different. But yeah, I love Martinelli. I've been rooting for him for time, and obviously I think people got a bit too excited too soon. Like when he first started showing potential and stuff, and I thought, let's calm down. Let's not talk too much. Let's see where it goes. But he just proved it, man. Kept going. And I think his ceiling is, we're nowhere near it, I don't think. Saka,
yeah, man. And
my guy, say no more.
Listen, he's. Do you know what makes me laugh, right? And I'll stick with you on this one, man. As soon as you brought him up, right? I know he's got a knock now, and we hope and pray that he's okay and he's not out for any number of time, right? But I felt he got a little bit harshly criticised towards the start of this season, where Martinelli and Jesus were scoring and he wasn't. Ødegaard was scoring, he wasn't. And I thought, wow, if there's any player that has credit in the bank for the first games of the season, it's this guy. He's lifted us for the last 2 years, carried us as an 18, 19, 20-year-old player. And all the crap that he went through in the World Cup, you know, he's bounced back. And for me, has been sensational, man. And I look at his performances of late, and it really does excite me. Like, how good can he be at 20 years old? We've got an unbelievable talent. And, you know, I've heard a few people say this, and I actually agree with it. He, at the end of his career, when we look back on all Arsenal players, he will be put up there with one of the best that's come through our system. When you look at the Ashley Coles, Tony Adams, Jack Wilshere's, this guy, for me, will be probably number one because he looks so good, man.
Oh, do you know what? I hear that 100%, 100%, especially if he carries on how he's going on. Like, again, I don't think he's anywhere near his ceiling. Like, I think he can be world class. Like, the way he's moving, the confidence. Like, the same with Saliba. Like, they're 29. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're so comfortable in there. They don't look out of place at all. Best players on the pitch. They're happy to be the best player on the pitch as well. Do you know what I mean? And like you said, unfairly criticised at the start, man. Some of like the rival fans, my friends and stuff, try to say, "Oh, Saka, da da da." Like you said, stat merchants, because he weren't scoring, however. Cool, he's still playing well. It's not like he was playing shit, but he was still playing. You know what I mean? He's still playing well. He just weren't getting the goals. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I hate when people don't watch the game. You need the eye test. I hate stat merchants so much. But yeah, Saka, he can go all the way. World class, I think will be.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Blaze, I want to come to you on two players before we do come to a kind of close in the last section I want to talk about. Ødegaard and Partey, Blaze, right? Ødegaard, well, let's come to Partey first, right? Partey, for me, is so integral and vital that we keep this guy fit because we had a different team without him, right? I thought yesterday was exceptional again. Unbelievable goal, by the way. You look like he was playing at Twickenham last season. This season, he's put 2 in already from 35 yards, you know? So definitely improving on that. But in all seriousness, him and Ødegaard together, our midfield just clicks. It looks absolutely superb. I think both of these players are integral. I want to get your thoughts on Partey and also your thoughts on Ødegaard because for me, a little bit of criticism. I've been critical of him in terms of his lack of goals and assists over the last couple of years. I love him technically. I think he's ridiculously gifted as a footballer. But I need to see more from him. And this season, to be fair, the goals and the creativity and assists are starting to be a little bit more consistent. So I need to see that, man. I can't have this Ødegaard turns up one game, goes missing 5. Turns up another game, goes missing 5. So I want to talk to you. I want you to talk to me, sorry, about Ødegaard and Partey's importance in this side, man.
Yeah, like you said, massively, massively. Partey, I'm just so glad he's hit what we expected him to be. Do you know what I mean? He was so good at Atletico for so long. Like I said, we bought him as a world-class player, and I don't think he really turned up for a long time. He had flashes, and then I remember a game against Liverpool that was just like one of the worst games I've ever seen. Like literally, where everything's just going wrong. But yeah, he's there's not a lot of players like him. I don't think it's hard to describe what he brings to the team. He's passing through the lines, like yeah, it's massively hard to replace him. I think he brings something completely different. Him playing well is integral to our success, most definitely. Ødegaard, like I said, he's a magician. You know what I mean? Like anyone that's been watching it from ages, like I said, knew when he got signed, 16-year-old from Real Madrid, like he's supposed to be a wonder kid from whenever. He kind of fell off before. If he didn't make Real Madrid, we thought we were going to see him turn to Januzaj or something like that kind of thing, and he brought himself back, like I said. But yeah, playing for us, like you said, I needed. The thing is, in the 10 or the position he's playing, you do need the stats. Do you know what I mean? Because that is integral to your play. If you are playing good in them positions, you will get the assists. At the end of the day, you've got 3 players that are on fire. If you put them in the right positions, then you will get the assist there, and the stats will come. But yeah, I think he's a lot more positive. Like I said, like you said before, I think he kind of focused a lot more on keeper possession before, whereas now I think he tries to take a bit more risk in his forward passing through the lines, a bit more Ozily kind of passes, and like I said, he's taking more shots, he's getting into the box more, which is what you want to see because he's as technical as you're going to get. You know what I mean? He's got it in him. He's scored some mental goals already, and some of the passes he does are just unbelievable.
Like you said, he does remind me of Ozil, man, but like he works harder off the ball. I think that's like the main.
That for me was it. Yeah. Like there's comparisons with Ødegaard and Ozil. I get it. I do understand it. I think some of it's he goes missing a bit. I think in some games, right? I get that. A bit like Mesut Ozil did. But you can't compare the two in terms of mentality and work rate. The mentality, Ozil was on another planet, mate. He needed to go. But when it comes to Ødegaard, the work rate, he never stops running, man. I love that about him, right? Yeah. But also, I need to see him shoot more. And yesterday proves why he needs to shoot more, right? And when I look at what our attacking midfielders over the years have done, the Fabregas, the Rosicky, the Klebs, the Cazorlas, Wilshere and Ramsey even, they all used to get 8 to 10 goals per season. And Ødegaard, I think, got 4 goals, was it last season? I need to see more than that from my attacking 8 or number 10. And I've put that pressure on, demanding the best this season on him. And at the moment, I need to keep putting more pressure on him because it's going well. He's looking good. He's delivering. He's answering. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, that's what I need to see from him. And I've been so impressed with it, man. So long may it continue. Boys, I want to wrap up with this because I feel like it's important. We've got literally a few games before the World Cup. It's a mad season with that World Cup getting involved. But yeah, it's mad. But January's going to be amongst us pretty soon. Like I think it works out that we've got like 4 or 5 Premier League games and then the window opens. I wanted to ask you what you would like to see happen. Menace, I'll start with you, man. Like, where do you think we're short? What do you think we need if we seriously want to put pressure on Man City this season? What do you expect to happen, man?
We need a midfielder. We need another midfielder. Because if Partey... it's hard because obviously, because then you got Lokonga in it, but because it's going to start pushing players out, but we've got to be ruthless. We need hopefully we don't need it because Reece Nelson might be feeling the shoes if he carries on how he did yesterday. But we need cover for Saka because like before yesterday, I would have said if he gets injured, it's a myth. Like it's a myth. I think it's so important. Do you know what I mean? And like Mark said, minimum 3 players, 100%. I don't even, maybe I need to see Ben White play centre back again soon. Like, hopefully not forced to, but I just need to see if he can do as good a job because I'm worried about losing Saliba and Gabriel as a partnership. Do you know what I mean? And the main things that them two, Partey, if we lose Partey and Saka, I need big replacements for them, just in case anything goes wrong.
Yeah, man, it's mad, isn't it? Because a lot of people in the chat are agreeing, saying 3 or 4 players. That's a big ask in January. But Blaze, I'll come to you, man. Where do you think we're still short, and what do you think we need to do in January, mate?
Same, really. Like I said, he kind of covered all the points. Like I said, 3 or 4 players in January is a big ask, especially to have it work and do well. But have you brought 2 in that? Well, I think we need at least a couple of marquee signings, at least one. Even if you get one marquee signing, and then you know what I mean, someone who could bolster the squad, then that'll bring a lot to the season. But I just think if we get like a big, like I said, if Jesus, I know he's not scoring, but what he brings to the team, he changed the whole dynamic of the team. Even though him and Eddie are kind of similar in the way they kind of play, the ridiculous work rate and energy. It's just not the same when he plays. And I just think if he gets injured, that's just going to bring a whole lot of problems. Like I said, if a couple of them get injured at the same time, we're in a whole heap of problems. Like I said, what Mena said definitely as well. I want to see Ben White, not if have to, but by choice. I do want to see what he's still got in centre back because that gives us another option as well of rotation between that because the partnership between Gabriel and Saliba has been sick. But that'd be nice to know someone else he could fit in there as well because, like I said, I think the levels drop a lot when Holden comes on.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I have the thing is normally throughout the years I've been Arsenal fan, I would have probably been named. This is who we should get. I don't even have any names in mind really for who I would say who we should get or like who.
It's hard as well. It's hard when you're buying to bolster. It's hard when you're buying backups because then it's hard to find a satisfying buy because they're not going to be as good. You're not going to go buy someone that's better than what you've got starting. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So if you don't do that, you're rarely ever going to be happy until you see them play. Do you know what I mean? Like whoever you sign.
I hear that, and I think we need to be ruthless in that respect, though, because if we think about it, when we were winning titles, when we were unbeaten, we didn't care that Carlu didn't get a game, or that Gilberto Silva had to come on, or Edu had to get a couple of games, or that when Pires got a knock, Reyes come on. Do you know what I mean? So I know it's been a long time, boys, but actually, when you think back, you think, actually, why do we care that Jesus has to fight for his place? Why should we matter that Saka gets a couple of weeks rest? I think we need to be that ruthless now. And you talk about names. I was going to finish on a few names that we've been linked with. I'm not saying we're going to sign these. A few players that are coming to the end of their contracts and a few players that we've been linked with. So the players coming to the end of their contracts, of course, are Tielemans at Leicester. The other player coming to a contract that we've been linked with for 4 years now, Zaha. And then you look at The player that we've been linked with, or a couple of players in midfield, been linked with Milinkovic-Savic from Lazio and Danilo over in Brazil. Now, Danilo would be like a Thomas Partey figure. I think that'd be a really good signing. And apparently, from what I'm hearing, that's the most likely one to happen. He's over in Brazil. Their season's come to an end. It looks like it's going to happen. Edu really likes the player. 21 years old, got all the attributes that we need in terms of a holding midfielder. So I can see that one happening. Rumour of around about £26 million. So it's not like a mad money signing. So it'll probably be okay. But other than that, I think you're right. We need somebody across that front three. Now, Zaha has made a lot of noises about saying, I want to come to Arsenal, my massive goon. I want this to be my last move. Would you take that? Would you take that? Because I would.
I would every day of the week. I think if you wouldn't, you're crazy. Like,
what have you been watching? If you wouldn't take that, what have you been watching?
Palace,
you know what I mean, literally, he's a constant danger. Constant. Like, he's been for how many years? He's a constant danger. He had a blip at Man United when Man United were absolutely trash. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone was trash there.
Imagine him in this team. Imagine Saka.
Oh, mate.
Saka come off and then Zaha just came. Oh, my.
Honestly.
How happy would be. Seriously, man.
It's crazy.
Like,
Definitely.
Running at players, running at fullbacks. It's dangerous.
Like I said, if we did that Danilo and Zaha,
I'll be happy.
The thing with Tillemans, Tillemans is a techie player.
But he's hot and cold.
But he's lazy. He doesn't put enough work in for me. Like I said, since we were linked with him, I actually started to study him a bit more. Whereas before, I was just watching him kind of loosely and just seeing the technical passes and, you know what I mean, the balls through the lines and the way he strikes the ball. And it all looks lovely and it's flary and stuff. But when you watch him as a player that we were going to buy, so many times then passes go wrong and he doesn't run back. And I just think that just doesn't fit the dynamic of Arsenal and how we are now. You know what I mean? The way we defend and our system. But like I said, if you could get him and he could change that and be spoken about it, whatever, I would take him because he is technically definitely good enough for Arsenal, definitely.
Listen, if we had our bench and you got Tielemans, Zaha, Danilo, obviously Zinchenko, Smith Rowe back, that's starting to look a bit better then, isn't it, all of a sudden?
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, when someone comes off, there's not, like I said, it's a bit more preference than, dropping a level instead. Do you know what I mean? Like Martinelli and Zaha, it's like, okay. You know what I mean? Cool, either way. Do you know what I mean? Like on the day, Zaha. I forgot about Zaha. You know, literally, that would be a dream one. I can't lie. You know what I mean? He's proven. There's nothing to prove. He's done it against every team in this league, multiple years. It is what it is. He's moving down the road. It's not like going to be a mad change up for him.
Yeah,
I agree, man. I agree. I agree. Listen, boys. Lastly, what do you expect to happen in January? Do you think we'll sign players?
The pessimist in me. The pessimist in me tells me no. Like, well, I think we'll sign one, but I don't think it'll be over. I think it'll be like, who's this kind of thing. That's how I feel. I feel like we'll get like someone unknown. I hope I'm wrong, but that's just because I've been beat down for a lot of years in these situations.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't lie. Like, I've been a pessimist for time. Like, I'm like, this is only just this season literally has turned things around for me. I'm not gonna lie, and I feel more upbeat, but I just feel like when we get to these things, when everyone can see clearly, if you just get this 1 or 2 signings, whatever, then you can challenge. Everyone can see it. Everyone sees that, and we don't do it. It happens all the time, like, and I just feel like it's gonna be more of the same. But I hope I'm wrong though.
We'll end up buying someone for broken back.
Yeah.
Don't, man. Don't, man. Remember that Kim Kallstrom? Oh my God, that was a mad one, wasn't it? I mean, Wenger should have just packed his bags then, really, shouldn't he? Do you know what I mean? That was just mad.
That was the last straw for me, that one. I just didn't even know what to say. I saw we were challenging them times as well. So what is even going on?
I hope it ain't.
Yeah, but I hope we sign. Like I said, I'm optimistic if you're saying what you're saying about Edu and because it's not a super high profile signing, I think that one could probably happen.
Yeah. But if we get Zaha as well, then
if we get Zaha, that's dream world, isn't it?
I'm getting real optimistic.
That's the dream world if you got that Danilo, Zaha, and Tillemans. Really, that's a dream world kind of.
And if we stay fit, we have our good luck with injuries, then I think we're challenging all the way if we done that.
Yeah, we definitely would challenge with that. I think definitely, like I said, with that and minimum injuries, we would challenge. But you're asking for a lot, but boy, we'll see.
Liverpool did it.
Exactly. We take it step by step.
So. Listen, a lot of teams have done it with 12, 13 players. Leicester did it when they won the league. I know it was a mad season, but they had 12. They hardly made any changes, did they, in the whole of their side? But I suppose they did have only one game a week, I suppose. But
that's what it is, I think.
Yeah. And that's why I think Newcastle have a good season this year because they've got one game a week. Do you know what I mean? They're dangerous, man. I'm not gonna lie. But listen, boys, absolute pleasure, man, getting both of you on. Thank you so much, man. Love to get you back on towards the end of the season and see how things are panning out and see how optimistic we still are talking in March time. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Celebrate
this will
winning
be
the
a
league, mate.
do you know what? If we do that, we'll come on and we'll have a nice drink and celebrate it for sure, man. Listen,
Definitely will.
plug your stuff, Menace. Plug your stuff, man. Plug your channel. Go for it, man.
Brotherhood Sport. The link, you said it's in the title, yeah?
Yep.
The link's in the title. Brotherhood Sport, Kitchener, Kitch Army. Brotherhood without the sport. That's our music channel. And
With a V.
what's that?
Brotherhood with a V.
With a V instead of an O. Because we had to, you know what I mean? SEO and that. But yeah, catch us on there, subscribe. And we're dropping basically every week.
Wicked. Listen, make sure you do that, guys. It's literally in the title. Just click, go subscribe. They're well on towards 15k. So they're doing some mad stuff over there in terms of sport and music. So make sure you do that. Blaze, absolute pleasure having you on as well, my guy. Really glad that we hooked up, man. I'd love to do this again, man.
Definitely, bro. Big respect for having us on. Appreciate it, man. It's been sick.
Always, man. And always up the Arsenal, man. Anyone that wants to come on and talk about sport or football or Arsenal, welcome anytime. So it's been a pleasure to have you on. Make sure you do that, guys. Go follow both of them. And look at that. They've even got the merchandise as well. Come on.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes, man. Only the best.
Love that, man. Love that. Guys, do us a favor. Smash a like on the way out on this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm almost at 6k. Make sure you can get me there, people. I want to try and get 6k in the next couple of days. If I can do, next couple of weeks would be absolutely fine as well, people. We're going to be back with regular content, leading right the way up to the World Cup. Tomorrow, don't miss it, man. 5 p.m. live. We're going to have the Race for Europe show. There is an addition. We got Pete Davey on because Newcastle are doing bits in the Premier League. He's going to be joining us along with Errol from Liverpool, who's going to get absolutely cussed out because of how poor they've been. Obviously, we've got Lewis from Chelsea, who's going to be crying because they got a battering from Brighton. Graham Potter going back there and getting booed. What an absolute madness that was. And don't miss Dan Lawless and Dan United going at it because West Ham were apparently going to be beating Man United, according to him. And of course, that did not go to plan for him yesterday. And of course, Tobes will be trying to talk about how great Tottenham are, even though they scraped a lucky win against Bournemouth. So make sure you don't miss that one on Tuesday. We're back on Wednesday night for the Premier League Roundup show with all the other guys from the weekend's games. And then, of course, back to Arsenal on Thursday night against Zurich. Make sure you like on the way out, people. Take it easy. And as always, up the Arsenal.